Have you ever thought that maybe all of your anxiety or stress is because of the amount of stuff that you have? This week, let's talk about how simply organizing, decluttering, and cleaning up and creating this space as a clean, open space helps your mind and makes you feel better. As well as, let's just talk about this monster I have. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time. My name's Amanda, and if you're new here to the channel, make sure to subscribe and comment below. Working on building a community here in these YouTube videos. So this week, I just want to give a little update about what is going on, because who would have known that YouTube videos take that long to edit? Well, anyways, I'm having technical difficulties, and this is actually like my third time recording this, and so if I forget something, I apologize. I'll try to catch it in editing and put it in as a voiceover. But anyways, I first want to apologize. In my last update, I talked about videos that I was going to be able to send and share, and time just escaped me. Since then, I've had another bridal shower. I've been trying to slowly go through all those things. I have to go through and write all of the thank yous for that bridal shower still. I've been preparing, and I took my licensing exam for my state insurance license, and so that was a little tedious. Got home, I studied the next day, and I retook all of the chapter quizzes and the larger exam where you have to pass by 85%, even though in the real exam passing is not an F, so normal 70%. And so I went through that because I was like, a lot of these questions just don't seem to line up with what I studied. Do they not give me the right course material? And so I went through all of those, and then Wednesday morning I got my test scheduled for that afternoon, and so I did it that afternoon. I actually did a proctored one here from my apartment, and so it actually made it kind of hard because to do the proctoring I had to move everything out of my desk area. They wanted everything moved. Even they wanted to look at my lamp, everything. I was like, really? So I ended up having to move everything, and I haven't actually gotten to moving it back because, as you'll see in next week's video, once all of the meals are made, I spent Thursday away from the computer. It was the last thing I wanted to do. I said, I didn't want to be on my phone. I didn't want to be on the computer. And so I actually took that time, as well as I just wrapped it up today, organizing everything from the bridal shower. So I still had some stuff laying out from the first bridal shower. I had all of the stuff from the second bridal shower. And then we are trying this new cookbook. And Wednesday night I put in a Hy-Vee order. So I picked it up Thursday morning, and instead of putting it away, like most people would just unpack the bags and put it away, I unpacked the bags and meal prepped everything. And so I feel really accomplished by it. But I have video for that, and so I want to show you how the process goes once I have the actual meals. So the cookbook makes 3 meals for 4 people, and so for us it'll make lunches as well that we'll use throughout the week, but 3 meals, and it starts with 3 basic ingredients, but they're also very different of meals. And so the first one is kind of Mexican. Well, they're nachos, loaded nacho fries, something like that. One is Mediterranean, and then one's a Asian stir fry. And so there's 3 meals. They're all very different, but they use the same staple ingredients. And so that's what I like about it, because you can, you buy the staple ingredient and then you can use it throughout, as well as they're technically gluten-free. There's a few that I did, like I used cornstarch in one of them because I wasn't going to go buy something special if I have cornstarch already. And so one of them is not technically, but it's nice because they're gluten-free or low gluten. As well as I was able to prep some diced bell pepper, because I love having bell pepper in the freezer already prepped. And this time I was smart and I laid it out on a cookie sheet, froze it that way so that I could put it in a bag, and they're not all stuck together. So I was able to do that. I organized the fridge. I went through and I got the entire house organized. I was able to do things like set up these baskets, which are super exciting. This was actually from our most recent shower. Pretty much everything in here. And so we have this on the table, just because then I can pick it up, and I can put it over by the mirror, and it doesn't look disorganized, it doesn't look out of place. Everything is contained in the container. And in here we have our reusable napkins that we got from our shower, trivets that we can use at the table that actually go really well with the baskets. It's the same kind of whirly design. We've got our salt and pepper shaker, and then we do have throwaway napkins in this Bon Appetit holder, and so we do have that in there. But that we can also we can put our coasters that are just tiles from my high school teacher made these, that we can just tuck these in here if we needed to, and that everything is contained and we can move it off to the side. And then we also got a couple other ones of these. We got a really tall one, and that kind of just has toys, because hopefully my sister will bring my niece and nephew down here once in a while, and so we do have some toys in there, as well as we have another slightly taller dark one that we put children's books in, so books that kind of all ranges, age range, and so we do have those so that anyone that comes and visits. Yeah, so I'll show you a little bit of the, I guess, after. We'll wait until next week or later in the week, this coming week, to show you the real transformation of organizing. And this was simple. It was about targeting small areas and focusing on that pile. And so I was able to, I worked through the table. The table was the first thing that ended up getting cleaned off, and it made such a difference walking into the room and having the table cleared off versus it's really been pretty busy the past several days, actually the past week, that there's just been stuff on the table from that bridal shower last week on Saturday, and so just hadn't felt like we had time to do it. And I came in and I put the groceries on the table, and I didn't feel like I didn't have space even for the groceries, which isn't the ideal. So I just want to show you how much of a difference this space looks. So first, we got this nice rug from my mom and my sisters for bridal shower. But look at this space. Wow. And actually, this is normally out further. I just had it close because I was using it to write on. But before, and if you looked at the last update, we had all of this stuff that was just kind of piled along here. There are some games that don't exactly fit. And then these are boxes, extra boxes, because we'll probably need more. As well as this is our donation boxes that are quarantined. And so they're just waiting, and that's the donation box to go. And these dishes I put on the table because I unpacked them. They just have to be washed, and then they get to go away. into the pantry, onto the pantry shelf, and then don't look over there. That's stuff for the weekend and garbage and things like that that have to go outside. But when I'll show you in a little bit in the video, but I like look over here and I am astonished by this space. It is homey. It's got my projects and like my goal book, you know, where I write my goals and my video ideas and my to-do list. All of those things like are right where I sit right here, and so they're right there where I normally am using them. We've got our games, and there's a basket for the remotes down there and some pictures that we can enjoy. Our newest addition, our little photo album from his grandma with our engagement photos. But just in general, like being able to look out and have this wide open space is almost unheard of. And it's super easy and makes it really accessible for Colin to get around, that he can get his walker through this space, that he can get his walker down the hallway pretty easily. And so I really am excited to talk about this space and just this transformation and show you the before and after later this week, because it really is an improvement to look at this space right now. Oh, if I didn't mention it already, here goes the memory game of did I say this already or not. Because YouTube videos have been taking longer to make, I will still have the bedroom cleanup and the hallway closet cleanup. I have those videos. The bedroom does not look like that anymore. My mom came, and my sister actually didn't, so but my mom came and she brought all of the wedding stuff from up at her house, and then we went through it that night, and then we put all of the boxes, labels and everything, so that we know what tables, if it was going to the ceremony or the venue or the reception venue, and we put all of that stuff in the bedroom. And so there is a tower monster of boxes, and so yeah, I sit at the desk and I have to remind myself not to turn around, because there's just a lot. And now that we separated it into boxes, there's more, it feels. More boxes than how we started. And so I do have that. I have wedding projects to work on also. I have a bachelorette party in about a month. And so there's a lot of things. And these 43 days until October 2nd just seem like there's not enough time. And so, it's definitely been a challenge with work and home life, and like just keeping those two separated, but also like making sure I'm accomplishing my goals for work as well as my goals for at home. And so yeah, oh my gosh, I'm thinking about this monster boxes, which is why I'm actually like, oh my goodness, I can't even explain to you. Like, this looks empty, but it's so relaxing that because it looks empty, and actually because it is, instead of having like where everything was packed in the space, and now that bedroom is kind of like that, and I'm waiting for the day that it's not. So anyways, thank you again for joining me, and I can't wait to have more conversations. And so please comment below with some conversations that you want to have. I am excited, and this channel can really go anywhere. Colin and I have some ideas. I want to bring Colin onto this video, to the video sometime, just so that you can meet him, that we can actually talk about our relationship more, that it's not just one-sided. Um, and also just to let him talk about like how it feels, because he's been in both shoes. He's seen my old apartment, and I'll have to see if I have pictures, because the apartment, I wouldn't say, was very photo worthy, and it's very different now because I I actually feel like my apartment is photo worthy right now, um, because it's just a whole different shift in mindset, and everything seems easier to manage and maintain. And like right now, I'm not terribly stressed. That's what I like about this space right now. It's not stressful. I don't even have to think. I love having a donation. This donation box has to go. But I love having a donation box ready to go. Just because then if I don't feel sure, I can put it in the donation box. There's a couple boxes sitting there. I'll let them sit until the wedding. Um, and if I haven't felt like I needed anything out of that donation box, I'll drop it off at the donation center. And they're just things that I've been going through stuff from my old apartment. Like, I really don't need this. Or we put it on a registry and we got a newer, better one, that we're able to upgrade. And I've put some of the stuff on Marketplace, and it's just been sitting there and nobody's been interested in buying it. And so I love that, one, it's a box and it's closed, and the box over there, well, one of the two are closed. The other one doesn't have a lid. But they're closed. They're tidy now. Before, and you'll see in my like cleanup video, like, they weren't. And that little bit of tidying up, I didn't take things out and put things, it was reorganizing and tidying up the box that was there, and how much of a difference that made. And even like the stuff on the table, just tidying it up and putting it in this container made such a difference. And from a distance, it looks very clean because all you see is this little bucket and a few things standing up. And once you're here, you're like, oh, okay, I need this. Okay, and you put it back, and it's still nice and tidy. And so there's a whole different perspective, and these are the conversations that I want to have, and I want Colin to be able to share with you his input on things too, because for me, this has already been such a change from how I was growing up, and I always had the messiest room. And when we lived upstairs, in the larger bedroom, my sisters, the four of us, we had the room split in half, or in fourths, and I not only was the stubborn oldest of the girls, but I also was probably the messiest, and all my stuff just kind of invaded my little sister's spot. And so Catherine actually moved out into the hallway, because there was always just a fight about whose space was what. And so, like, my stuff just always took over her area. And so it's very different now to think about it being like, I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to go back to when I was a elementary student and I was crying because my parents told me I couldn't leave my room until it was clean, and there was no way I was getting that cleaned. I didn't even know what to do. I had so many things, so many Barbie dolls, so much clothes. Everything was just mixed together because I just throw the clean clothes with the dirty clothes, and then I never knew what clothes was clean and what was not because everything was on the floor. There was points like we couldn't even walk into our room, let alone my parents walk into the room. And so it was always a place of argument, of anger, of anxiety, of stress. And then in my apartment, when it was, me and my roommate, I felt bad, I feel bad for Heidi. I felt bad for Heidi because I didn't know what to do with things, and it took until I really like I wanted to change. I didn't want all of this stuff when I was packing up my boxes, and I was like, I live on the third floor and there's no elevator. I had to haul all of these things out. I worked really hard on getting rid of stuff as I was going. I brought 2 carloads of stuff to the thrift store, and I'm still finding things that I learned that I can live without, because I'd rather live without something that I didn't need than being forced to hold on to it forever. Um, and I think I've learned that there's some differences. If I could change one thing, I think it would be that I would want to teach other people, um, the challenge of holding on to too many things. And it's definitely something that I think my family knows all too well. My mom holds on to things. My grandpa held on to things, and moving him out of his house was horrible. Um, and it wasn't even just like a once. His kids tried to declutter him multiple times, and they would declutter and he would accumulate. They would declutter and he would accumulate. And I think my mom realizes that, but my mom also has sentimental value with a lot of her things. And she's got a lot of things that she says, "Oh, these are yours." Or these are your, like, these are which, select kid. Insert kid. This is your stuff. But my mom's holding on to it, and she's not just going to pull it out and drop it off at your house. She's going to tell you that, like, oh, I have this for you. But she's going to have it for a long time, and she's got a bedroom that is not a bedroom anymore. You walk into it, and she claims she can get in there and she can get around. You open the door, and you wonder how you're going to get 3 feet into the room. Floor to ceiling stuff. And that kind of room, that kind of space, I've learned really drives me crazy, gives me a lot of anxiety, and I think just really causes me to shut down because I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. And that's actually, thinking about it, not knowing where to start has been the problem the entire time. Not knowing where to start is why my room growing up always had so much stuff. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know what to do in my apartment, what I needed to hold on to, what I needed to throw away. And hopefully you realize today that all you need to do is start by finding the trash. Now, trash might be something small, might be like physical, like, this is spoiled food, let's throw it away. But it might also be those torn shirts, or the shirts that have holes that you know that you're not going to be able to fix. It might be the expired cans of food in the pantry. It might be scrap papers, old receipts. It might be receipts from 2-3 years ago. It might be that charger that only works sometimes. Or that phone brick that just gets really warm. Or that hair product that just doesn't work. Start by finding the things that are trash, that don't work, that might not work for you, that might not work in general, and choose, if you can donate it, that's great. If not, the trash, the recycling are available. And just start with that little thing, that little mindset. And then we can move on from there. We can start looking at how much stuff we physically have. How many things of ribbon do you need? How many rolls of wrapping paper does one need? How many toilet paper rolls do you need? Or things of shampoo, or bottles of soap. There's so many things that then we can look at and we can say, I really only need 2 bottles of soap. And so instead of stocking up all the time, I'll just, when I get down to 1, I'll add another one to the shopping list. Or how do you limit the pantry? That's what I like about this cookbook we're using, is that I don't need to think about what is necessarily in the pantry all the time, and I can use up, slowly in other meals. I'm using up the stuff in the pantry. I pull out a few things and I say, okay, I'm going to find a way to use this. But these meals in the cookbook don't require a whole lot of pantry space. That you might need fridge space, maybe freezer space, but like most of the other ingredients are like spices that you probably already have out in the kitchen. And so it's really nice to have these recipes that don't require too much of you. Don't require too much space in the pantry, don't require too much space even in the fridge, because then you're rotating through your food. You're not letting your food go bad. You're not letting your food expire. You know what's there because it's all in one place. It's zoned to one spot. And so that's a lot. I'm sorry that this took longer than I expected. But until next time, see you, love you, and subscribe.